welcome all to Walking the Weird. My name is Tyler, and as always with me,
Hey guys, it's Sean.
and this is part
4.
part four of the BTK. Like it just doesn't.
Don't
end.
worry, he's one of our longer ones. After that, you'll get a bunch of
It's
shorter
just.
ones.
I mean, imagine how like the detectives felt. Like it doesn't stop.
Oh yeah,
I think
imagine.
I think that's what you're gonna kind of be showing today. How
A
they
little
just. He just couldn't get over himself.
Last episode we kind of talked about the communications that he had, all but the last final communications, which allow to his getting caught. Also, we talked about most of the murders, but what we really shed light on was not just his communications, but like his way of not just thinking, but like kind of the process behind these killings, kind of like the pathology of where he was going with this in regards to his own sadistic plan or his own sadistic, callings. We're gonna summarize today the last little bit of the murders, along with officially how he got caught, and it's gonna be summarized. Obviously, feel free to look into it yourself. We're gonna start off with the murder of Nancy Jo Fox. If is there anything you want to say before we get started?
No, I just can't wait until he gets caught because it's hilarious. Well, sorry.
No, you're good.
It's ridiculous.
No, you're good. So around the time of 1977, Rader had been stalking Nancy Jo Fox for some time and had decided he was going to kill her. He gave her the name Project Fox Hunt. Remember, this is a guy that likes to label his projects,
Yeah,
I guess, right?
He thinks he's awesome.
Right. He thinks he's smart. So on December 8th, 1977, Rader broke into Fox's home through a back window after discovering she was out. After some time, Fox did return and began screaming at Rader to leave her house. Hey, get the fuck out of here. All that type of stuff like, one does when approached by a person.
In the home.
You said what?
At night?
Right, at night, at 3 in the morning. And that she was going to call the police. Rader informed her that her phone lines were cut and she would not be able to make any calls at all. Rader informed her that he intended to restrain her, take photographs of her, and rape her. He, by request, let Fox smoke a last cigarette before her death. So she asked, hey, can I at least smoke a cigarette? He complied, let her smoke a cigarette in her living room and everything. Brought ashtray, brought like a glass of water, did all the right things by what he says. And then Rader allowed Fox to go to the bathroom after she assured him that there was no way for her to escape. Rader ordered Fox to come out of the bathroom, partially undressed. Rader began then to undress, and he ordered her to lay down, and she emerged from the bathroom. Fox resisted when Rader tried to remove the remaining of her clothes. Rader then began putting handcuffs on, to which she protested and questioned the need for the cuffs. Like, hey, you already got me. Like, what are we doing for? Rader told her, that's part of my deal. I got to have them, otherwise it won't work. Now, hopefully, we're all referring to his penis on that one.
He's impotent.
A little bit. Anyway, Rader then began to crawl on top of Fox and wrapped his belt around her neck. He repeatedly loosened and tightened the belt, allowing her to come close to unconsciousness and then bring her back before eventually strangling and killing her. After this, Rader had another attempted murder. The attempted murder was of Ann Williams. This is the reason why it was attempted. During this time, Rader also intended to kill others, such as Ann Williams during the time of Nancy J. Fox's. Anna Williams, who in 1979 escaped death by returning home much later than expected at the time.
Then it's ever bedtime? Like,
I don't know.
I can't do it now.
Rader explained during his confession that he became obsessed with Williams and was absolutely livid when she evaded him. He recalled spending hours waiting for Williams at home, but becoming impatient and leaving when she did not return from visiting her friends at the allotted time that he had for that.
Sorry, she didn't do what you want.
So she eventually ended up like getting away from that, and he ended up losing it. Before we finish the last 3 murders, or after we finish the last 3 murders, I'm going to go over the last two communications that we had with Dennis Rader, so that way you can kind of see to where we lead up to where he gets caught. But anyway, let me go ahead and figure this out here. So we already did that one of attempted murder of Anna Williams, and then this led into the murder of Maureen Hedge. So Rader had been stalking Maureen Hedge for some time. He has a fascination with stalking these people, like the whole time, and had given her the name Project Cookie. She lived only a few houses from Rader, and he selected her just to see if he could murder one of his neighbors and get away with it. So this was a test to see how he could push his boundaries. Like, now you see the ego of Rader increasing. You see where he's trying to do something more outrageous, more public, to see if he can test his boundary with it.
Dude, you're like barely. Okay, when we say he's lucky, he's literally lucky. Like, he's barely getting away with it.
Yeah,
like he's not.
Don't get me wrong. Obviously, he pre-planned a lot of shit. But
like, it seems like from every time you describe it, it seems like he just the second it starts, his plan just goes up in flames, and he just kind of, and it's like,
which is the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Like, a lot of people think that like psychopaths are like super smart and like super critical. I was like, no, they're not. They're like, some of them are, yeah, but most of them are not. Most of them are very impulsive. Most of them can't control themselves. Well, that's where you have the distinction between, again, sociopaths and psychopaths, where sociopaths can be more critical, can be more planning, more, hey, let's figure all these out without using emotion, while psychopaths are like, me kill you now. And it's like, no, you can't do that.
It's just funny. And it's really horrible.
Yeah,
but
it's horrible.
It's funny to listen to you explain it, because he's so bad at it. It seems like he didn't plan. Like, he's just
not that the circumstances seem comical, but his reactions as a person who is like that seem comical, because they don't seem thought out. For a person who thinks of him so smart, so brilliant, he doesn't think things through all the way.
Like you said, the whole poor impulse control.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
That's literally his whole thing.
He just pretends like he planned this thing, but then the second she doesn't come home when he wants to, he just gives up.
And not just gives up, he throws a fit. He throws a tantrum. He gets angry. So it's the impulse control. It's like a 5-year-old. Like, oh, you're not getting this iPad. It's like, no, it's no.
It's that's why it's funny, because it's like, but if you're some, amazing killer, you wouldn't act like this,
right?
It's all a show. It's a joke.
It's a fake mask that they put on it, and a lot of them take it overboard. But anyway, during this time, Rader was attending a Cub Scouts meeting, or an outing rather, on April 27, 1985. The night of the murder, he decided that because the Cub Scouts thing was not as far as he would have initially thought it was, he was able to go and come back and do all that stuff during that night of the murder. I hope that makes sense. I kind of wanted to clear that up.
He was able to be a Cub Scout leader and also kill people.
Right. During that time.
Because he could make it work to where no one would really...
Right. No one would really suspect him. There was witnesses that said, hey, he was here with us. Anyway, he had faked a headache, blaming the rainy and muddy weather, and said he was going to bed early. He quietly left and sneaked out rather, and drove to a deserted area where he quickly changed out of his Cub Scout attire. He then drove to a bowling alley across the street from Brittany Center at 21st Street and Woodlawn. It's a recreational center in Wichita, or one of those like family activity places in Wichita. Anyway, he walked in, ordered a beer, pretty casual. Kind of played with it in his mouth, like switched it around and stuff like that, and like kind of dabbed it on himself, like almost like he was trying to mask his scent and all that stuff. Like, he was trying to like make it seem like he was drunker than he was. He then called a taxi using a fake drunk slur, which we know our boy Dennis does a bunch of voices and stuff. He was dropped off one street down from his and Hedges Street, and Rader cut the phone line to the Hedges home, which is, again, remember, Maureen Hedges. Okay, so I want to make sure that everyone got it, because people thought Hedges like Bush. No. Anyway, so he cut the phone lines from the Hedges home and managed to break into the home without damaging anything really a lot. So He then hid in the closet. After waiting, Hedges came home with her boyfriend, leading Raider to wait even longer in the bedroom. Because remember, he doesn't like to fight guys.
Yeah, he's not very for as big as he is. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like
I mean, he's not like super big, but
he can be an imposing person if he wanted to be.
Right.
But I'm sorry again. It makes it funny.
Yeah.
Like because when you see him, you'll be like, why are you a giant coward? Like,
right.
Like
so this caused him because her boyfriend was there. It caused him to wait longer, for Hedges to go to bed and get settled in and everything. Anyway, when he was confident that sorry, I lost my place here. Oof, where are we at? Oh no, when he was confident that Hedge was in bed, he crept out of the closet and quickly flipped on the bathroom light. Hedge woke up and began screaming, which one normally does when someone's at someone's house that's not supposed to be there.
Even when someone just turns on the light, you weren't expecting it. You kind of
right.
It doesn't
Yeah, no, I get it. And then Raider decided to subdue and handcuff Hedges before struggling. I guess that's appropriate though. Struggling to strangle her to death.
Struggle, snuggle.
No, he struggled to strangle her. Remember, he always has problems with strangling them.
For as much practice as you do.
Remember he said his hands hurt.
Bro, get those little grippy things.
Bro, step up your game, dude. No, just kidding. No, so
but it's ridiculous. Like,
right.
Just saying it is ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? Like, I thought this is your big hobby that makes you fulfilled,
and then goes back goes back to what Edmund Kemper said. Like, he's not as successful.
Yeah.
In that aspect. Anyway, so he handcuffed her before strangling her to death. Then Raider wanted to remove her from the house to tie her up and take pictures of her. After finding her car keys and collecting mementos or his trophies, Raider stripped Hedges and dragged her. Sorry,
he probably would drug her.
He probably would drug her, even though she was dead. No, dragged her out of the car, and then he drove her to the Christ Lutheran Church. Remember, this is the place where he's at.
Yeah,
where he does his ministry stuff like that. Or anyway, where he was a longtime member and a key holder, so he was like an elder, so he had keys, all that stuff, and everything like that. So he dragged Hedges' body into the building and covered the windows before turning on the lights, ensuring no light would be visible from the outside. He then began positioning the body in the church and taking pictures of the corpse. As daylight was approaching, Raider cleaned the scene, removed the garbage bags off the windows, turned off the lights, and returned the body to the trunk. Raider drove a little distance away, and then he dumped Hedges' nude body in a remote ditch and covered her with brush. And then he went back to his Cub Scouts, cleaned up, switched back into his attire, and emerged.
Normal. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm feeling better.
Yeah, and all of a sudden his headache was gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that led us. So this is now pinpointing how deranged he's getting. He's trying to make it to where he is directly involving his neighbors, and now it's more risk for him because that's what a lot of these psychologists studies that these killers try to go one step further and one step further and one step further and one step further.
It's like with everything else.
Yeah,
they can't. The same amount doesn't work anymore. They don't get the thrill. They don't get the it doesn't fulfill it anymore. You have to keep upping the dose.
Right. Now, this one, murder of Vicky Wegerly. At this time, Raider was working for ADT and was out working when he saw Vicky Lynn Wegerly. I think that's her pronounced name. Anyway, she got into her car. He stopped her for a little bit, classic, before learning that she played piano. After hearing her play it when prowling around outside of her house, he kind of referred to her as Project Piano after that. Clever. Anyway, we know Vicky Wegerly because of a photocopy of her driver's license that Raider stole and would later mail to the 2004 on September 16th. In 2004 he mailed the fucking. No,
the ID
to her. I'm sorry, my brain's
not
here.
Not to her, of her to the media.
Thank you. Of her to the police station. I'm so sorry.
Oh, to the police station.
Yeah, to the police station. So on September 16th, 1986, Raider used one of the company's hard hats from ADT and a Southwest Bell manual to act as a repairman for or technician for the telephone company. Rader first gained entry into Wegerle's neighbor's house and pretended to do telephone work. Before leaving and knocking on Wegerle's door, he did this to make her less suspicious. So this whole act of him going to the next door was to make her less suspicious. Once in the house, Rader told Wegerle that he had to check the telephone terminals, brake fluid, or what is it, windshield wiper fluid? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, Wegerle directed him to the phone near the dining room table. Rader made small talk with Wegerle, kind of talking to her casually as he pretended to check her phone. After declaring the phone line was okay, Rader pulled a gun on Wegerle and instructed her to get into to go to the bedroom. Wegerle told Rader that her husband would be home soon, but he persisted. Rader forced her into the bedroom, where Wegerle broke free of her bonds and fought back. She scratched Rader's face hard enough that at the time of his confession, 20 years later, Rader testified that he probably still had the scratch somewhere if you looked. Wow, that's not a bragging right. Whatever. The struggle upset the Wegerle's dog, who began barking. Rader grew nervous because the windows were open and he did not know when Wegerle's husband would be home. Rader did not have much time, but he took pictures after he killed her for, how he puts it, sexual purposes. Rader fled with the Wegerle car and passed Vicky's husband on the way out. Rader parked the car in a grocery store parking lot and drove back in his car. As he passed the Wegerle home, he saw EMS responding to his murder. Also, by the way, that guy's life was turned upside down because people don't realize the Wegerle case is a whole other case in itself because they thought that the husband did it. And it wasn't the husband. It was BTK. Which, by the way, again, we're now recently finding out that BTK could be connected to other kills, more kills.
That's what surprises me, that he wouldn't say more, because that he needs that.
I wonder if these kills were different, if something else happened, or if it was something that was out of his ordinary that he felt maybe more shame for. That's why he didn't brag about it too much. Or maybe he holds on to him saying that these are the ones that they didn't figure out. You know what I mean? Like something stupid.
They beat the shit out of him. That's why he doesn't tell. He's like, yeah, they really whoever the killer was, they just kicked the crap out of him.
All right, ready for the last one?
Let's do it, because I have to summarize this whole thing because it's hilarious. I just go ahead.
This one is the last murder, or one of the last murders, murder of Dolores Davis. So Rader had seen Dolores Davis not far from where he lived and stalked her for a while. You know, Rader codenamed her Project Dogside. What? I don't know why, but because of the dog kennels.
I don't know why you're questioning this. None of this makes any fucking sense.
He called it that because of the dog kennels north of her home. Rader cased, or I guess followed, the Davis home many times.
Walked around.
Trying to figure out a plan, being unable to figure out a way to break in. So people have now tightened up their security. Rader used a Trapper Scout outing to cover his murder. So another scout thing that he's using to cover it up. On January 18th, 1991, the Trappers were having their annual Dead of Winter outing at Harvey County Park West. Rader then went to the park and set up camp before fabricating a story and leaving. Rader then drove to his parents' house and got undressed out of the trapping scout clothes. He then drove to Park City Baptist Church, to which he had a key because of his Boy Scout duties. Rader left the church, walking through wheat fields and cutting through the cemetery in Wichita to get to the Davis home. The severe cold drove Rader to break in by smashing the window rather than trying to break in more quietly. So this motherfucker got cold. Baby. So he got cold. That's why he decided to fucking do this. Whatever.
You're so bad at everything you do,
man. The time was 10:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. when Rader arrived At the Davis home, where he could see Davis reading through the window blinds, Rader waited until the lights had been out for a few minutes, knowing that she was gone or that they were at rest.
I'm surprised he broke in because there's the guy there.
Right.
Like,
And then threw a cinder block through the sliding glass door. Davis ran out of
he
her
was
room.
really cold.
Right. He was like, fuck this. Them nipples were cutting through diamond at that point. Anyway, Davis ran out of her bedroom yelling. Rader used his wanted man ruse on her. Like, remember how he was like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
like
from California. I'm wanted. I'm trying to get out, type shit. Anyway. What is it? He used the wanted man ruse on her. He said he wanted to tie her up and leave her, but take the car and some food after taking some time to warm up. Davis refused and told him to leave. At which Rader Rader informed her that he had a gun and pointed it at her, a club, and a knife on his person. Davis then became cooperative all of a sudden. Well, yeah, you have a gun to your face. I would be too. Rader obtained the keys to her car and rattled around in the kitchen pretending to look for food. Rader believed that while he was tying her up with a pair of her pantyhose, fucking deviant, dude, that Davis realized that he was going to kill her. She begged for her life, prompting Rader to strangle her with her pantyhose. Rader initially was going to stay and take photos with the body, but Davis had lied to him and said that somebody was coming soon, forcing him to leave sooner than he planned. So she was trying to save herself by saying,
Yeah,
hey, this
that
person's
someone's
coming in. Yeah. Rader used a
Ridiculous.
Say what?
I said he's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah,
he
for
makes
sure.
it. He just keep going.
Rader used a bedspread to drag Davis's body to her car and put her in the trunk. Rader drove her car to the Kansas Department of Transportation, so like the DMV or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a lake right adjacent to it. So where he dumped the body. So it was the Kansas Department of Transportation lake where he dumped the body in the bushes. Rader drove back to Davis's home and threw her keys on the roof, having read that the police had looked for the Otero keys on the roof of their home. So doing it to like taunt them. Rader walked back to the Baptist church to pick up his car. Rader drove back to the KDOT, which is the Department of Transportation, collected the body and drove out to a rural area where he dumped the body underneath a bridge. Rader did not take any pictures of the night of the murder because he needed to get back to camp before his absence was noticed.
It seems like a lot of extra work for no reason.
Right.
For someone who it's the planning thing. It's so dumb. You can't say you planned it, and then every time we hear this, it's like
you didn't. Not the planning.
Yeah.
Well, Davis's body was discovered on February 1st, 1991 by a 15-year-old boy, Nelson Schock. Schock's dog went under the bridge, and the boy followed when he was unable to call it back up to the street. Yeah. So that was one of them. That was a few of them. He also... No, that was the last one. The 1991
that we know
was the
of.
last one. Oh, that we know of. Now it looks like he's involved
There
with a
might
few
be
more. But we'll go from there. So you guys remember the last communications where he has been talking with police through these ads, through this whole thing where BTK creates a fake ad, the police now respond to it in the fake ad. All these things that he's been leaving behind, like cereal boxes. He's been leaving like numbered like codes on cars and all that shit, right? You remember that from the last episode? Anyway, well, in 2005, while these communications were going on, and after years of silence, Rader began sending letters to the media and police in 2004, re-taunting them again. He printed in a specific ad addressing the cops that if a floppy disk would be traceable. The detectives replied through the same ad per his instruction that no, it was not. Dennis Rader then went to his church and he printed out a floppy disk to taunt them with that information, right? Unbeknownst to Dennis Rader, there's a way to track floppy disks specifically.
You had the internet. Why would you just look it up?
Well, they didn't. Google wasn't as sophisticated at that time. But anyway,
Mr. Planner. Anyway,
they were able to chase. They were able to trace back a deleted Word document to the church where it was last altered by a Dennis.
Denise, please.
So it led them in the traced metadata from the disk. It specifically said the words Christ Lutheran Church and last modified by a user named Dennis. They weren't 100% sure. Sorry, let me say that again. So on the actual metadata, it said Christ Lutheran Church.
No, you got it right. I'm just laughing because he's a freaking idiot.
I know. And then and then it was last altered by a guy named Dennis. So they weren't 100% sure if it was the one if it was Dennis Rader. They weren't 100% sure. So they kind of stalked him. They kind of looked out. They had pretty much everything but the actual smoking gun. And this is where it came out. So, in a last-ditch effort, they found out who Dennis was, who they thought he was, and went to go see if he had kids. One of his kids, specifically the daughter, remember I told you? The one that's now famous for the books and all that stuff? Mm-hmm. She went in to get a checkup. I'm not 100% sure what the checkup was. Some people will say it's a pap smear. Some people will say it was...
it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
It's her medical stuff.
Whatever. It's her own thing. I didn't look much into it. I heard that it was that. It was a strep
it could
swab.
Be anything.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it could be
anything.
Matter.
Blood sample. Who cares? Whatever. They took her DNA and compared it to the crime scenes. Those crime scenes matched that the person who was involved in it was a relative of hers. And with that, they captured BTK.
So it was the wife.
It was the daughter.
No. BTK is the wife.
BTK was the wife. What do you mean?
I'm just messing.
Oh,
I was like, they got the wife. Yep.
So they caught BTK. BTK during his confession and during that eerie moment that we see in the courts where he's just describing everything that's happened that we've been talking about. He was bothered that he had to go do that at church. It's like, well, duh, dude, you have to do it. One of the other things that kind of bothered him, and he did this during his interrogation, he spoke to the officer, to the detective, and said, well, you fucking lied to me. And he's like, what do you mean? About what? And he goes, well, you said the floppy disk couldn't catch me. He's like, yeah, I was trying to catch you. Why would I tell you the truth? Like, haven't you been doing this?
Just like going through these and learning more about this case, because I knew some, but the more I learned, the less I'm like, I don't get why he's famous.
He's famous for the amount of kills and also for the fact that he was longevity. Dude, 30 years?
Lucky. He's not good. He wasn't.
A lot of people will say that who are like stat, I guess. He's not as good as people think, but that's why Edmund Kemper had like no respect for him. Like, there's a lot of people who had no respect for, even in their own community, I guess, don't have respect for him.
We've been laughing this whole time because it's ridiculous. Like, if you know anything already about these guys, he's not good at it. He can't handle any variables even remotely slightly out of place. Like he can't control a situation.
And it shows you the deep psychology of these guys where he threw a tantrum because he was lied to by a detective who was trying to avidly catch him. It's like, he's avidly trying to catch you. Why would he tell you the truth, man? Like, why would you even think of that? Like, why would you think that that's viable for you?
Yeah, and how many people, if he, let's say for some reason at some point he didn't get a gun, he would have far less kills.
Yeah, he would.
Because that's how he got them to do anything. He wasn't. It's just ridiculous. It's just stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it is. I totally get it.
It's like, and it's not the detectives. They did what they could, but it just, he's not this mastermind guy. He's not that. You're not that guy.
Right. No,
like,
you ended up not like, you ended up in a situation where you were already doing horrible shit and then got mad when something horrible happened to you, and it wasn't even as severe as what you've put a lot of people through. So I had no sympathy for him.
Nope.
I had no empathy.
He's still alive, by the way.
He's still alive. He's still in jail. Thankfully, I don't think he's getting out anytime soon, hopefully.
Nope.
You know, and they're going to tie him to more murders now, so we're going to be able to see the full scope of BTK if you're inclined to research into that. Some people are, some people aren't, you know.
And I get it.
Is what it
like,
is.
it's
It's
it can be
rough. It's a rough
brutal,
topic.
Like you don't. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, that wraps it up for BTK.
BTK, the what is it? What was it? McDonald's manager.
The McDonald's manager.
No,
McDonald's franchise.
again, that's really mean to McDonald's. They work hard.
They work hard.
He really did.
They come up with good ideas.
They have to make schedules.
Yeah.
He can't even do that.
He can't even do
he
that.
He literally couldn't make a schedule for this one lady. But yeah. All right. Well, that's the end of this episode. Catch us next time. We haven't decided what we're doing yet, but it should be, a little bit more brighter.
I have the UFO story planned for you.
See? Brighter. I'm sure the UFO planned.
They did. It seems like it did.
Yeah.
They followed their schedule.
Yeah. Well, I've been Tyler.
I'm still Sean.
And we'll see you next time.
Later, guys.